Alright guys, how's it going? In this video we're going to be talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold, Real Madrid, and the Spanish media's coverage of their alleged interest in the Liverpool defender. Now, I'm currently in America, as you know, right? Normally when I'm in Spain, I review the Spanish football dailies for you each day to see if there is anything about Trent and Real Madrid. You know that there hasn't been a lot mentioned in the three main Spanish football publications, right? If you remember, a few months ago, the Liverpool clique of journalists were trying to tell you that it was daily, it was constant. Do you remember Real Madrid ramping up their interest in Trent via the media? And I started buying those newspapers again for you. I bought them during the summer transfer window for obvious reasons, Mendy, Cuba, all that, Mama Dashvili, Milli Vanilli, whatever it's called. Then when the window closed, I stopped getting them. But because the media wanted you to believe that this was happening in Spain, I started to buy those newspapers again for you each day, thanks to your support, I should add. And just so I could show you, hey, guys, fuck all in the papers, or here is something, you know, and you know from what I've shown you that there's hardly been anything. I did say that as we went into October, as the month progressed, you would start to see a bit here and there. That was accurate. I then said that in November, you will see it really start to gain a bit of ground as we approach that fixture between both clubs. I do apologise, I've just drunk some apple juice. Normally I drink cider with apples, but I just had a lovely glass of... anyway, it doesn't matter. So I said, my prediction is that as we approach that fixture between Liverpool and Real Madrid, that you will see a lot more speculation as the month of November rumbled on, because whether they're interested in him or not, Real Madrid are very, very clever at destabilising, ahead of, important games and things like that. And I think we're starting to see that now. You have to decide whether or not what you see, though, is accurate, And for example, the reporting of from Marca in Spain, that is a very heavily biased Real Madrid publication, to the point where the Spanish people themselves say that Perez writes the articles regarding Real Madrid. So you should pay attention to Marca, but you have to determine, is this genuine though, or is this just a bit of destabilizing kind of thing? So the latest, if you like. Now, when I say latest, I'm traveling. I'm not in Spain at the moment. So my latest might have already been touched on by some people, but they haven't got 26 years experience. I have. And I have the Spanish connections, just saying, hooray, DKB. Dunk knows best, hooray. I'm only joking, I just say it to wind the haters up. Anyway, basically in a nutshell, and I believe this, I don't think this is part of the destabilising thing. Well, it could be a part of destabilising, but you could say it's destabilising. They've got no interest in it. This is just out there to try and destabilise. I actually think it's genuine. And basically what they're saying is that Real Madrid have made Trent now an absolute target, like a primary target. If you've been around KopTalk for many years, you'll know that we use words like primary target, secondary target, stuff like that. And he's been identified and is now being promoted, if you like, to primary target, because previously there was two other players that they've considered for this position. Now, the reason why Trent Alexander-Arnold has become a primary target, if you like, is Perez does not want to do business in the winter window. He doesn't like the winter window. I don't think they've done anything like that for 5 or 6 years in January. And for example, an article I read the other day, it is not to Real Madrid's liking, right? What that means, it's not to Mr. Perez's liking, that they are going to try and do something in January has become a matter of maximum urgency, given what has been seen in the last few games, Real Madrid's form. And again, I said to you guys, didn't I? Watch those results. If Real Madrid are doing well as they approach the January window, they'll try and wing it, all right? if things are going wrong, I said I expect that they will possibly step up their interest in Trent, and that is what appears to be happening because things aren't going very well for them at the moment. Now, there's a young kid called Jesus Fortea, Fortea, from the academy, and Ancelotti likes him. He's kept him around the first team, but as I've been saying to you, I think that's maybe come a little bit too soon for him to be considered like a replacement. Do you know what I mean? Like a couple of years more on him, maybe they wouldn't look at Trent as something. Now, I think I might have some notes about that kid here somewhere. Anyway, so what the latest is, within the last 24, 48 hours, coming from Spain, is that they were looking at Trent as a summer possibility. Free signing. Obviously, that would be attractive, but because of what they're calling a crisis, they are now considering him or looking at him for January, which means they would have to obviously pay Liverpool some money. Liverpool would have to agree to it. Liverpool have to make a decision. Do we let him go for fuck all if he wants to go, or do we take what we can in January? The player would rather go in at the end of the season, right? One, leaving Liverpool mid-season is not going to do him any favours. It's not like he can leave with the blessing of the fans, because the fans are like, oh, you bailed on us mid-season. Do you know what I mean? So he would rather go in the summer, but also, if he was to take that decision, remember, they have to make that offer first. If they don't make that offer, you know he's going to sign for us and he'll tell us he never considered it once, right? But if he goes in the summer, he also would get a substantial signing on fee, and his agents, as well, his agent, his representation would, benefit from that too. You go in January, you're still getting your dream move. You're not really going to get that signing on fee, maybe, you know what I mean? Well, you're certainly not going to get it like you would if you were a free transfer. But because of the injury to Carvajal, they need to address this situation rather quickly. They've got Vasquez, but people are not convinced by him. Fortea here, Real Madrid do not see it as a good idea to put Fortea under pressure to become the first team's fullback in a situation like this, because the last thing you want to do is throw a kid in like, oh, you're right, you're suddenly our first choice right back. We're in a bit of a crisis. Now, good destroy a kid, right? They want to give him time and allow him to finish developing beyond the youth league matches. This is an article by Marca, by the way. I'm not sure when it was published. Probably a couple of days ago now. But it's a number of articles that I have been, reading and following for you. Even though I'm not like churning out my content like I usually am with me being away, but I am keeping an eye on things for you. The Liverpool fullback is being seen as a necessity, but it wouldn't be an easy transaction. It wouldn't be an easy, what they call, operation. And this article here goes on about, the centre back as well. That's something else that we spoke about, is their need for a centre back. Now, I will be doing other videos today, touching on the January window in terms some claims. I think it's one of them today's exclusives. You know what I mean? We'll look at that in a minute. So the reason for the video really is everything that I've proposed or suggested would happen in October and November has happened so far. And I think you're going to see more to do with Trent, the next week, 10 days or something. I think you'll see something quite substantial, like where you're like, oh, holy fuck, this really could happen. My personal opinion, and, this is only opinion, and, I base my opinion on a lot of things. My opinion is no more important than yours. You might be completely different to what I think. But first of all, I don't care if he stays or goes anywhere. Anyone that don't want to play for Liverpool, fine. I don't have a problem with anyone wanting to, in their eyes, further their career or progress their career or do something different. Real Madrid, glamorous club, shit club, really, to be honest with you, the way it treats people. Trent goes there, I think it'd be a big mistake. He won't be a superstar there. He'll be a superstar at Liverpool. He'll be the captain of Liverpool one day. He goes over there, it's just a number. Well, Liverpool is a name, right? At Real Madrid, there's no patience. There's no time. You can't make mistakes. They really do demand the best. But also unrealistically, we see Núñez, he doesn't he misses some chances, the fans will still chant fucking Nunes when he's going off. Do you know what I mean? In other words, we're deluded compared to Real Madrid. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to give him. They'll be throwing pigs' heads at him and everything. It could ruin his career. If he delivers, then fine, no problem. I always thought that they would drag this one out as much as possible. I was given specific information a few months ago, as you know, that we spoke about, that they would try and do that. The agent was hoping to drag it out as long as possible to see if Real Madrid stepped in. You're going to see articles saying that there's been talks, they've been sniffing for ages. This Liverpool clicker journalists, you know who they are. You know, I don't really want to mention names. There's even a female journalist. Can you believe it? A female journalist? We can't be having that. No, I didn't mean it to sound like, I mean, it's fucking true. But what I mean is, right, there's even a female journalist in that clique. Because I don't want you to think, oh man, I've digging myself and all. I don't give a fuck what people think. I don't mean it like that. You can't say anything. What I'm saying is, I don't want... No, let's just not worry about upsetting anybody, right? Everyone knows who's banged the arse off her to get them stories from Anfield in the past. Everyone knows that. You know that, don't you guys? You know that. If I had some aspirin, I probably would myself, to be honest with you. No, I don't like her. How did we get onto her anyway? I wish we could get on. I can't remember what I was saying. All right, so there's the clique of journalists, the LFC clique of journalists, including a female journalist. This is what I was trying to say, was including a female journalist, and she is obsessed with Trent Alexander. No fucking wonder there, really. And every time, you know, like, if Trent Alexander-Arnold was playing for Liverpool and he gave away a penalty in a game, she would find, and so would some of these other hacks that were in that clique, she'd find a way of saying the much wanted, you know, coveted player by Real Madrid, and she would go on about that for a paragraph. Every single time she mentions Trent Alexander-Arnold being wanted by Real Madrid. There is nothing to suggest to date that there's been any kind of contact between Real Madrid and that, but it's starting to sound like now that they may be making some moves now. So you've noticed a change in my attitude, right? Because up until now I've thought, nah, this is more like them hoping that Real Madrid come in. Now, if Real Madrid didn't have that defensive crisis, if Real Madrid were not playing, you know, were playing better than they are, getting better results than they are, I don't even know if Trent would get that move there or the possibility of a move there. Would Real Madrid have come in and spent money on him like a year ago, 2 years ago? I don't think they would. But they're in trouble now. So you've now got Perez that doesn't like to spend in January. So if he doesn't like to spend in January, what would you do? Like your old man, wouldn't it, if you're a kid? Your dad like that. I'm not fucking paying for that fucking room decorating. Well, I want it decorating, says your man, right? Then your dad go, oh, I'm fucking doing it. I'm not fucking paying a lot. I'm going to get cheapest paint, get this fucking cheapest fella in to do it. Do you know what I mean? You're going to try and do it on the cheap if you don't want to do something, right? So Perez will try and do something on the cheap in January if things stand as they are. And the obvious answer there is Trent Alexander-Arnold. But then he waives his right to a bigger payday in the summer. But he ain't going to turn down Real Madrid. If Real Madrid don't come knocking, then obviously Trent is going, oh, I always wanted to stay at Liverpool and win the Ballon d'Or with Liverpool and captain. You know that, right? I still think that Trent and his agent are holding out for Real Madrid. That's what I think's happening. What I'm trying to say to you is the reason for the video, I do get there in the end. Sometimes it's difficult to remember everything that you're trying to express. But I think that the reason for the video is to say to you that I genuinely do think that Real Madrid are now at that stage where they're like, we're going to have to do something, and Trent's the obvious one. All my previous videos up to now have not said that, but I actually think now that they're going to start making some noises. And yes, you are going to see more about this around that game, you know, as we approach that fixture, but I think it's genuine. I think it's genuine, and I'd be cautious. It doesn't mean anything will happen. But let's not forget, Trent Alexander-Arnold could have killed this ages ago, right? Because he could have turned around and said, you know, they don't want to affect the bargaining position, right? Because, you know, the strength that you have, your agent would go mental with you, right? If you're a player and you come out and go, oh, I'm definitely signing, I'm definitely staying. But what he could do is come out and say, well, you know, what'll be will be, you know, I'll leave that to the people that discuss these things, you know. my preference would be to play for this club till the day I fucking die. Well, maybe not the day I die. Can't be bombing around at 80 years of age. You know what I mean? Though, until I hang up my boots, sort of thing. I'll rephrase it. Be associated to this club until, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm not in the mood for being pulled up today. He hasn't come out and said one thing like Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah, in my opinion, have both given body language and comments about, all right, maybe not committal, but like makes it sound like they want to stay at Liverpool, right? You haven't seen that with Trent. He's left that door well and truly fucking open, and that it for negotiating. Do you know what I mean? So he could turn on and say, I'm very proud, you know, like he could allude that he wants to stay. He hasn't done that, in my opinion. He's keeping his options open. And like I've said to you, consistently, watch Real Madrid. What did I say to you? If the results go wrong, they come in, it makes it more likely. And the results are going wrong, and that's what we're now starting to hear. I also told you to keep an eye on Jesus Fortea. I know that you've seen some Liverpool websites say that he's the man that could, he's not even a man, you know, he's the boy, the player that could stop Trent securing this move, but I have said to you, I don't think so. I think it's maybe come too soon, his introduction to the Real Madrid first team setup. But I have said to you, keep an eye on him, you know. When you see Real Madrid play, look and see if he's included on the subs bench and things like that, you know. So, in summary, Real Madrid are stepping up their interest in in Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I believe it. All right, I'll leave that with you guys. If you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment with your opinions. You know, do you agree with me? Or what do you think will happen? Or are you a bit like me? It's like, quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. Because out of the three, if one of them has to go, I'll be happy. Well, I won't be happy. I'll let him go. He can go. It's fine by me. Let me know what you think. And if you want to buy me a beer, I'm off on the piss tomorrow. Just being honest. I have not had a single drink since I've been here, you know. But I will be tomorrow in my favourite pub in the world. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee for Sunday morning, hit the super thanks button, the love heart under the video. All right, guys. Sorry, I've got my laptop here. I'm actually working on the last video that I've just uploaded. I'm trying to multitask. I'm like a woman, me. Well, what I mean by that, right, is I don't wear tights or stockings or high heels. Can you imagine me walking around in fucking high heels? What I mean is I can multitask. Like women are always going on out there, oh, I can do this, I can do that. You know what I mean? Whereas men are meant to feel inferior. You know, because I am fucking useless, to be honest with you. Women are pretty clever, aren't they? They're all right, aren't they? They've got the uses. Don't know why I'm staring at that bed. That ain't seen no use this week, only for sleeping. Because I'm a good boy. Right, I'm off. See you in a bit, guys. Hooray.